Good afternoon, Pastor MP here with this Friday edition of the St. Mark Spark. Today is Friday, July the 3rd, and we're heading toward our July 4th weekend. So I send you greetings and blessings for a happy and safe holiday weekend. Speaking of the weekend, this Sunday we are taking a look at chapter 24 in the book The Story. And our focus this weekend is on the parables that Jesus told in his ministry. This Sunday, we will be talking about the parable of the Good Samaritan and how Jesus might have used that did use that to teach us and new ways we might look at those stories. When you see me on Sunday, you will see that I am wearing this stole. This stole has a story behind it, as many items that we have in our life do have stories. That stole was given to me by a very dear friend of mine, Jan Hart. It belonged to her husband, my friend and mentor, Al Hart, who passed away February of 2019. Back in 2016, as I was entering the seminary, Al Hart, a retired minister, gave me this book of special services. They hold liturgies of different services that we hold in the church. It outlines baptism, funerals, weddings, confirmation services, and all sorts of different liturgies in the church. And it's a book that he used throughout his ministry. And inside the pages are notes. Al took notes with pencil, and he wrote names of people who were to be baptized or to be married, and then he was able to erase them and put new names in there. The latest names and notes are still contained within these pages, and there are stories to be told through them. I hold these two gifts and items very close to my heart, as they are part of Al's story, part of my story, and they have more stories to tell. Jesus taught stories. Jesus taught us through the parables. Jesus sometimes turned those stories or ideas that the Jews had back then on their head and asked the crowd to look at things a little bit differently. Sometimes he used shock value, as in the story of the Good Samaritan, who really, by all rights, in the first century was looked at as the villain normally. And here Jesus makes the Samaritan a hero, asking us, begging the question, who am I in the story, rather than who is my neighbor? So this Sunday, we're going to be talking about the Good Samaritan and that parable. And what it made me think about is, beyond who am I in this particular story, am I the neighbor, or who is my neighbor? Is it made me start thinking about what stories my life is telling. And that might be something that we can focus on this day and as we go through this next week, to think about how we are telling our life's story. Because our lives are telling a story. It's telling a story to those who are around us, to those who hear us, to those who see us. So my challenge to us this day is to take a look at our actions, to take a look at our words, those things that we are saying and not saying, those things that we are doing and not doing, how we might be contributing to complicity in things that are not right in God's kingdom. And God's kingdom is as it is lived out here on the earth. In the Lord's Prayer, it says, "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven." Not some future heaven kingdom, but the earthly kingdom right now on earth as it is in heaven. So what stories are our lives telling? What story are our words telling to those around us? So let's think about this week, the parables, think about this challenge, and I will see you in Sunday worship in just a couple of days. Be safe this weekend, and peace be with you.